That's good. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can see me. If you just bear with us for a couple more minutes, we're just going to wait for any stragglers to join the call, and then we will have our update for you, just any kind of reminders and things. We've got a bit of a list to get through, so yeah, just bear with us and we'll see who else is going to join. Right. I'm just messaging other members of the CMT to see. I can't see how many people are quite in the chat, but yeah, if anyone, we should have a message, the ability for you guys to write messages. There we go. 15 attendees plus us. Can anyone else see a chat box and type anything in there? Because we're going to try and use that throughout the call. If you guys have got any questions, basically throughout the call, here we go. Just see if any of you can enter anything, and then obviously then we can see and we can answer any questions you have got. So apparently there's 15 of you in here. Doesn't seem to be working. No one has messaged anything. Maybe Dan, if you can take a look, just so people can message it, or even if they are, so we can see them, and then we will get cracking. There's always going to be technical problems with these webinars, so bear with us. We've trialed various different ones, and this is new. Here we go. Hi everyone. Can you let us know if you can? I can't hear James. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can everyone hear me? Need some feedback. If anyone's also on the Facebook group, maybe you could try messaging us on the Facebook group, and then we'll see how that looks. Drop a comment. Can anyone on the call? Yes. Sorry guys, we just can't see if you're leaving us any questions. Maybe you're not. I'm on it and can hear, but I can't reply. Okay, thanks Alice. So people can hear me, that is a good start. But nobody can leave a message. Dan, should we just go for it? Maybe that's this. Yeah, okay, so if you are, right, I'll go for it. Dan?
So yeah, I think, yeah, let's go ahead. If you can't post in the chat on this, not sure why that's not working, but if you could post questions on the Facebook thread, so there's a post in the participant Facebook group, just reminding everyone that we start at 7. So if you have any questions during the presentation, just kind of let us know in there.
Cool, yeah, so if any of you are in the Facebook group, hopefully you all are, please just post any questions in there. If not, roverway@scouts.org.uk, you can get us on the email there. So in addition to me, for those of you who don't know me or who've forgotten who I am James, the contingent leader. And also on the call, we've got Dan DuPont, who you just heard. Dan works in the events team at the Scout Association at Gilwell Park. And we've got James Wiley on the call as well. He's a member of the CMT, the contingent management team. And he's looking after the pre-event. So, yeah, we've got a bit of an agenda. And again, if you've got any questions, do it to the email or in the Facebook group. We'll try and monitor those and then answer them at the end for you. So, yeah, I'm just going to give you a bit of an update as to what we've been planning and preparing for the team so far. Just hopefully can give you a bit of reassurance there and just keep you in the loop. I'm aware that there might be quite a few parents on this call as well. We'll then have a bit of an update on travel and flight arrangements. We've got a bit on the pre-event from Wiley. We'll then look at in-touch and emergency procedures, so what to do if things go wrong, how we've been preparing for that, how we've been preparing the organisers for that. And then, yeah, links, what are the links, what other things can you download or access? Cool, so I will get started. So my housemate is also just coming through. Hello, Andy. You all right? Sorry for that interruption. Go upstairs and tidy your room or something. Right. Yeah, I'll get started. So just as a bit of an update for any of you that don't know, can't remember, we've got about 270 people in the UK Scout contingent, which is amazing. It's much more than we've ever taken to a Roverway before. We've got about 70 of those which are IST. The broader numbers in general, just to get you a bit excited, it's the biggest Roverway ever as well. So the numbers are still growing. There's a few more people that the contingents are adding to, but the estimated numbers so far is about 3,600 participants, 3,665 to be very precise. IST 328, contingent management team, so people like me, Dan Wiley, 105. There are 49 contingents represented, so not quite 49 countries because there are some that take more than one contingent, like the UK. There's the Girl Guide contingent and the Scout contingent, but there's 49 contingents coming out of 41 countries. And yeah, a lot of those now have been allocated to paths, so I will come to that in a minute. So just to give you a bit of background in terms of what we've been doing as the CMT, we have a call every month. That is now increasing to every week, just about. In the run-up now, we're about 7 weeks from Roverway, from us kind of jetting off to Amsterdam for the pre-event. So yeah, we've got a lot of meetings scheduled, and we've just come back from a full CMT face-to-face meeting at Gilwell Park over the weekend. And during that time, we were talking a lot about incident management. So we've kind of prepped, we've got everyone signed up, recruited. We're trying to get enough information from the organisers, but we're also kind of just preparing ourselves. How can we support you guys while you're out on your paths? And also on the campsite too. So yeah, just a bit of background there. Oh, I can see Dan's files. Very good, Dan. Don't know if anyone else can see that, but Dan's files coming up on the screen. Okay, so yeah, just a bit of information and a reminder about paths. So obviously, a lot of you have picked your paths. Today is the deadline. You should have selected them by now. If you are a patrol leader on here, or if you're in a patrol and you are not sure, please make sure you have chosen your path. You need to have submitted that by now. If you haven't, there is room for stragglers, but you've got to move very, very quickly. We need that information ASAP. A lot of you have been asking about a kit list. The organisers are issuing their official kit list to us this week, they have told us. That said, we have written our own, and we will be issuing it very, very soon, also this week. That has been written amongst the team. and there'll be a lot of information in there. It isn't broadly massively different from what you would expect on a normal kind of residential scout camp. There are a few bits of special equipment you might need. There's a bit of advice around what kind of tents you should be taking. I appreciate you've only got 7 weeks now to get yourself ready in terms of kit, so that will be coming really soon. Thanks for bearing with us on that. Other things to note, we've had quite a lot from IST. I noticed in the Facebook group in IST, for any parents, that's the international service team. That's those people that are over 22 that are joining us and volunteering their time to help run and deliver the camp. You guys have all signed up by now, or you will be signing up at least for your role allocations of what you will be doing whilst you're on Roverway. And a bit frustratingly, they have told us that for many of the roles, there are a few exceptions, but for many of the roles, you won't be assigned kind of your itinerary until you get to The Hague. And there you will be able to scan your phone. You don't need a particular app. They will share a link. But you're able to scan your phone on a QR code and you will get your kind of itinerary for Roverway and what job roles you'll be doing. The reason why they're saying it's taking so late is because obviously not everyone's signed up yet. They're still determining exactly what jobs need to be done, and people will chop and change their roles too. Other people were wondering, oh, what if I don't have a smartphone or I don't have battery? There will be paper versions on event as well that'll be printed off so you can see them and you can get them from the site's organisers, and you can also borrow someone else's phone that's in your group and scan it that way. So yeah, that's just something. Another thing that you might just want to bear in mind that I just thought I would mention from some of the patrols that I've been dealing with is just around finance and payment. Because you were all recruited in your counties, you're not paying us directly, the UK Scout contingent directly. You will pay your counties, and then they will submit that payment to us. So it's just being collected all locally. So please make sure you just, for the county's sake, please just make sure you are paid up and you've made all your payment schedules there. Let me just check before I move you on to Dan. Bear with me. Yeah, actually, this would be a good time to just mention what you will be doing, really. I won't go into too much detail on the pre-event because we've got James Wiley here to talk to you a lot about that. But obviously, you've got that first weekend, 21st, 22nd of July, where we will be in Amsterdam having a fantastic time. Then we have the opening ceremony in The Hague on the 23rd. Big party on the beach. There we go. Dan's got the itinerary up there. You should be able to see a lot of stuff that they've provided us with. So yeah, once the opening ceremony has come to a close, you will sleep on the beach, which I think is pretty cool. For anyone that's panicking, there will be the option you don't have to sleep under the stars. You can pitch your tent. The beach is sealed off, and it's it's a public beach, but it will be secure for just the Scouts Roverway event, so there won't be strangers wandering through. The organisers have contingencies in place and are just kind of working through if there was a thunderstorm or anything like that. We have pushed them to find out what that plan is. There is something in hand there that they'll let us know, and we're confident that they can deliver on that. So yeah, then you wake up on the beach in the morning, 24th, and you go on those paths which you should have selected by now. Just thought I'd plug that again. So you will go on kind of an expedition, an adventure, sightseeing, cultural visits, all sorts of things for the next kind of 4 or 5 days. You will be out in your UK patrol with lots of other international patrols. So you'll be bussed out to different parts of the country. Excuse me. And some of the paths sound really, really cool. Excuse me again. Some patrols have already got theirs back, others haven't yet. their allocations. Those that haven't selected yet should know that soon. We're expecting that to be, let me just work that out. We're expecting that to be the first week of July, when you should finally find out. I know that's quite late, but you should get your answer then. Yeah, then you arrive on the 29th. You will be reunited with the contingent management team. We will be there on site. Whilst you're out on your paths, we'll have our phones on us. You will be able to call us. Dan will talk to you a bit more about that. But yeah, you'll get back to the site on the 29th, where you will see us. You will see the whole campsite come together. As I said, just over 3,500 people there. It's going to be amazing. And then on site, you'll see from the kind of 29th to the 2nd of August, there are lots of activities taking place. There are lots of ceremonies, celebrations going on. There's lots of cafes. There's lots of kind of makeshift nightclubs that they make in the woods, that they make on the fields that they've got there, on the beach that they've got there. It sounds really cool. There are a lot of different themes. I can quickly just give you a bit of background on those. Bear with me. Okay, so water themed. They all kind of match up with Roverway's learning objectives. So there are 4 of those. I am open to others. So that's activities on the water that they're talking about. I recognise myself. That's a bit about self-awareness. So there'll be a lot of team building activities around that. I can make a difference. So that's just kind of community impact, things of a million hands, that kind of stuff. So there'll be other activity fields where you'll be talking about how you can make an impact in your community and what you're doing, what you do in scouting, what other people do in scouting, which might not sound that exciting, but as someone who's been to several different roadways, it is really cool because you meet people from all over Europe and they tell you exactly what they're up to, and it is good fun. And then I am involved in the world around me, worlds that they kind of have a global development village. I don't know if any of you have been to roadways before, that kind of stuff, and the harbour too. So all the water activities are really keen for everyone to get out sailing. How will it all work? An activity field is open during the mornings and the afternoons, and you'll kind of rotate through those. So yeah, lots planned. It does sound very cool. I'm jealous that I'm not a participant. I think I've hurried through quite a bit there, but hopefully there was lots of information for you, enough to kind of get you excited, interested, and in the loop with what we've been doing to prepare our team as well, to support you guys. But I'll pass you on to, I think it's Dan next, from our itinerary. Or agenda rather, but that's pretty much the update from me. I think it's over to you, Dan, to talk about travel and flights.
Cool. Hi. I think I've managed to work out how the questions work here. So I've started tracking those, so we'll answer those occasionally when we're getting to them. So I'll just quickly run through the 3 we have so far. Ryan, not at all rude, so we'll probably be done in the next half hour or so, and if anyone needs to leave early, then we'll be posting the video for you all to see afterwards if you need to. Matthew's first question about when the insurance policy will be sent. If you have a look in Tulip Times Bulletin 4, there's a link to it in there, and at the end I'll put the link to where you can find that if you haven't got the right copy handy. And your other question of, will you get a list of which countries will be on paths alongside you? A good question. I don't think we'll be getting a full list from the organisers, but when you're allocated a path, you'll be given an email address that you can email to get in contact with your path leader. And if you try asking them, then they may be able to help you with that. So first, a few things around travel and flights, because a few people have been asking. Firstly, thanks very much for everyone who's been submitting their passport details and information of their own travel plans. If any of you are on option B and planning your own travel, please give us your information on how you're getting there, when you'll be arriving and when you'll be leaving as soon as you can, because for the pre-event we really need to be able to allocate people to groups for the Saturday afternoon, which Wiley will mention in a bit, and when we leave we really need to let the organisers know who needs to be on what buses, which is why we urgently need that information. There's still a fair few people outstanding on that. And my lovely colleague Ashley will be chasing people this week. Flights, those of you on option A should have been given your flight details in February or March, I believe, by email. We'll send a follow-up. It'll be about 3 weeks before we travel, so start of July, just with confirming your details and a few extras about that you need to know for that, such as your ticket number and that sort of thing. Just make sure you have those details saved, and you'll have the option of checking in online about 30 hours before the flights leave. It's not compulsory. It might just speed things up at the airport, so we'll just let you know how to do that as well. For those of you who haven't flown much before, it's worth arriving a fair bit of time before the flight. You need to be there about 2 hours before as a minimum, and we'd recommend going a bit earlier than that in case you have traffic issues getting there and that sort of thing. But when you're there, you need to be having time to check in, get your baggage sorted, get through security, get to your gate, which can take a little while, especially at a busy airport in the UK. On the flights, we've had a few people asking around making sure that everyone kind of knows somewhat where they're with. There's a few flights where there might be some under 18s from a patrol traveling where they don't have any over 18s with them from their patrol. So we're going to have a look through the list and try and put people in touch with another patrol leader or a member of IST to make sure they're kind of comfortable there. And we're also hoping to get some volunteers on the ground in the UK to see you all off so that they can help you out with any queries in the UK. We'll also be, I'll come on to our processes in a second, but we'll be available and contactable from the Friday evening if you need to get hold of us. So I think we've slightly adjusted the order here. So I think I'll just go on to the emergency procedures and pass back to Wiley in a little bit, just to go through it all in order. So we have some emergency procedures and in-touch processes planned for you for the event. The first one, we had a really good CMT meeting this weekend, getting loads of kind of our final plans sorted. And part of that, we did some scenario incident training on the Saturday and some great listening ear training on the Sunday that Ben provided for us. So we're making sure we're all prepared for dealing with any questions or issues you might have on the event, and also being there to kind of listen to any concerns you might have, which is something that we kind of picked up in the Patrol Leader Academy as something we needed to do some work on. So we've been upskilling ourselves in that. And I'm also going on a mental health first aid course in a few weeks before the event, so that we'll have lots of knowledge and experience for you guys. On the event, there'll also be lots of support from the organisers. They'll have a listening ear tent and first aiders who all know what they're doing. So you'll have loads of options for kind of getting support where you need it. So as you can see on the screen, I've put up our in-touch process for the event, which is really important, but you kind of try and follow this where you can, because it really helps both us and you to make sure we're able to support you if any issues occur in the best ways. So as you can see, we'll have a national home contact. Her name is Debbie. She was a national home contact for Roverway 2016 and is a member of the regional services team, so has done their home contact role a number of times, so has a lot of experience and is lovely and great at handling any questions you might have. The important thing there is that we'll be giving her number out to all of you to pass on to your parents or carers or personal emergency contacts, so that if they have any issues during the event, that they contact her. And it's really important that they contact her direct instead of us, because our contact methods we need to keep them clear so that any of you guys on the event can contact us if you need to. So, which is why we have Debbie there to speak to any of your personal contacts if they have anything that they need passed on to you guys. And similarly, we would prefer that they went through Debbie if they need to get a message to you, just because if there's anything like, we hope it doesn't happen, but if there's a bereavement in the family or something, then it really helps us to know that that's happened. And if you're just getting that message outside of our system, we don't know that, you might be upset by that and might need a bit of kind of extra support, or just to kind of, so that we can make sure that you're okay, basically. And so I mentioned there as well that we'll have a kind of various contact methods for you when you're on the event. Everyone will be given a wristband, which will be fairly sturdy, so that it'll last for 2 weeks. That'll have 2 phone numbers on it. One of them will be our emergency contact number that you can call if there's any emergencies, and one will be a non-emergency contact number for you to call us if it's less urgent. You'll also always be told kind of where our base will be. For example, on main camp, we'll have a contingent office tent where you can always come there and find us. Our main camp will also have a UK contingent tent, which will be more of a kind of nice place to hang out. We'll probably put in some games and activities there, and just an extra place for you to come along if you fancy a break from activities or whatever you're working on. I think those are the main things there. And similarly, if anything happens during on an event, or if we just need to let someone know of any issues, we will pass that message to Debbie, who will then pass it on to your home contacts, onto your personal emergency contacts for you there. I think those are most of the points I had on there. I can't see any more questions currently. So I will pass you on to Wiley unless anyone has any other questions. Cool. Wiley, are you ready to go?
Yeah, no, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Hello, no, thank you. I'm James, known as Wiley, and I'm looking after the pre-event, which you can see from this beautiful graphic is between the 21st and the 23rd of July. So I think as Dan said, most of the flights, all the flights, sorry, have been allocated, and you'll be landing between 8:20 and 2:05. So there's a big spread of arrivals coming into Amsterdam. A member of the CMT will be waiting at the airport to basically welcome you to Amsterdam, to celebrate a safe arrival and direct you to the hostel. So there will be a train, so you'll be given a train ticket if you're flying as option A with the contingent. You'll be given a train ticket at the airport where you'll be told where to go, which platform, and then onto the train. I think it's 2 stops, maybe 3, on the train, where another member of the CMT will see you off the train and take you to the hostel. So at the hostel, this is where check-in will be open, and you'll be able to drop your bags. You'll be given a room key and a 48-hour travel card as well, which gives you access to travel across the city. So we expect check-in to be between 10 and 3, depending on what time your flight is. I think travel option B, we've recommended own travel at the latest to arrive at the hostel at 2. So just bear that in mind. So once you've arrived with us, your first activity is going to be a walking tour, so to familiarize yourself with the city. So this is going to be a guided tour by a professional in one of the city squares that will take you across the city, learning different parts of the history. So there's going to be 3 different groups that will go out, which are at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And depending what time your flight comes in, which is why we desperately need your travel information to come in to finalize, will determine which group you go into. So there'll be 5 guides at any one time, and there'll be 20 people in each group, which means there'll be roughly 100 people for each time slot. So if you arrive into Amsterdam on one of the earlier flights, you'll then be given free time to explore a bit of the city. So because the walking tour lasts, I think, 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending how many questions you ask. So dinner for that evening will be at the hostel, and it's between 6:30 and 9:15. So whenever you finish with the walking tour, you're free to explore the city and then make your way to dinner. So on the evening, we're going to make our way to a local park. It's known as Nelson Mandela Park. This is the first time that you'll all have met as a contingent. So we'll have a few words of wisdom, celebration, and there'll be some fun activities and games happening throughout the park. And then from there, we will then head to bed, which will then lead us to Sunday. So Sunday is going to be a full-packed day of activities, which is good. So breakfast is from 6:30 to 8, depending how early you wish to rise. In the morning, there'll be a patrol leader briefing, which will give you the outline for the day and more information on the Monopoly run and scavenger hunt that we're going to do across the city. So the Monopoly Scavenger Hunt is going to run from 9 a.m. to 1, and there's going to be different activity bases across the city with different challenges. And you're going to have to take different photos, gather different items, and hopefully we'll be with other contingents. So we understand that there'll be other international contingents in the city, so we're going to have a small competition across contingents. So hopefully we'll win. If not, it's fine. And in the afternoon, so from 2 o'clock and 2:15, we'll move on to the boat tour. So you'll have a boat tour of the canals. They will be 90 minutes each, and they will show you, so random facts, there are more bridges in Amsterdam than Venice. There's many canals, so 90 minutes boat tour, and then from there you will have free time to explore some of the places that we will advise to go and see, like Anne Frank's house and such like, up until 5:30, where return to the hostel. So between 5:30 to 6, where you'll return to the hostel, where you can shower and prepare for what we've like to call it as the hipster barbecue. So from 6:30, which is sharp, buses will depart the hostel to take you to the venue, and from there you will have a barbecue and some activities. So we'll keep the activities a mystery still for now, maybe some more information to follow, and that will go on to 11:30. So yeah, lots of fun. And then as we move to Sunday and Monday, God, I'm completely out of the days. And then as we move to Monday, breakfast is again between 6:30 to 8:30. So this is the day, as you can see on the flowchart in front of you, is that we move, we begin the register with the main Roverway event. So I think registration, we aim to register between 11 and 12. So coaches will depart the hostel at 9:30 and arrive in The Hague about 11. And there's where lunch will be provided, and there'll be activities where you can put up tents, enjoy the Hague, because I think there'll be activities in the centre of The Hague as well as the beach. And then the opening ceremony, which will happen, I think, at around 5 o'clock. So I think that is about it from me. So I'm just looking through more questions coming in. Who do I send travel information to? From Andrea. So if you could send it to the roverway@scouts.org.uk email address, that would be fantastic.
Cool, thanks Wiley. I think it's me again on the last slide if I can find it. Right, yeah, so just to give you a quick update on when you're going to be hearing from us next. The link at the top of that page is where you can find any old bulletins, that sort of thing, if you want to remind yourself of what's included in those. We're hoping to have the next bulletin out early next week, which will be an update on the information we've covered here and various other bits and pieces for you. Then after that, we'll do another bulletin early July, so that you've got one more before you go there. As I mentioned earlier, you'll also get your flight details around then. You can see there also we have the #UKRW18 contingent handbook coming out. Probably we're aiming for kind of the end of the month for early July, which will be a PDF document. We're also hoping to get it working as an app, and we'll be printing it out and handing those out when you arrive in Amsterdam. And to give you an idea of the kind of things covered in it, in no particular order, we will have various maps, itineraries, insurance, Dutch translations, staying happy, kit list essentials, emergency contacts, in touch, CMT who's who, Netherlands intro, money, travel, cooking on fires, IST envoys, code of contact, hashtags, and support networks. And let us know if there's anything in particular in addition to that very fast list, which was probably not that helpful, I now realise. Let us know if there's anything else that you would like to see coming out of that. I had one other thing on this and I've forgotten what it was. Webinars. We'll have a final kind of Q&A webinar for any last minute questions or concerns you might have 10 days before we travel on the 11th of July, and we'll send you more information about that nearer the time. And the other one was that later in the week we are going to be trying to send you around a kit list. We're aiming for later in the week. We're also partly waiting on the organisers of sending us their kit list, so we just want to make sure it lines up with theirs, but it'll be by early next week at the latest, as a number of people have asked for that. And if there's any other particular things you'd like to know from us, please let us know. And I think that is pretty much it. And I think I will pass back to James for going through any questions people have.
Thanks, Dan. I thought I'd turn my webcam on so you can see my ugly much. Yes, I still can't see any of the questions. Were they coming through the webinar app, Dan?
Yes, there's a questions box as well as a chat box, which I hadn't seen previously.
Right.
So shall I read out questions and you can have a go at answering them as they come in?
Yeah, or are they in our spreadsheet, or
yes, they are in the spreadsheet. I'll copy and paste them into the spreadsheet.
I can have a look at the spreadsheet. Cool. Okay, so we answered Ryan's time roughly with an hour, with Ryan asking how long it was going to be. We should be finished very soon. We're just going to go through these questions and then we'll finish things off. When will we be sent the insurance policy? Yes, again, if you check the Tulip Times Bulletin 4, it is in that. But we will be recirculating it, and we will be doing kind of a much easier one to follow in terms of the likes of making a claim. We've also, we did the Patrol Leader Academy. I'm sure there are a lot of PLs on this call, but yeah, the patrol leaders have also kind of been talked through it too, but we will be issuing stuff in the handbook about that. But yeah, check out Tulip Times 4 for that. Yeah, sorry, I think Dan's answered quite a few of these, but there's no harm going over them again. Will we get a list of which countries will be on our path alongside us? It's not likely. Again, you can contact your path leaders to find out. Sometimes, if you've got a really proactive path leader, hopefully you will be given that opportunity to. But if not, it'll be in The Hague when you find out. And there's a bit of excitement to that. I know from previous roadways, I didn't have a clue. And yeah, you kind of throw yourself into it. Who do I send travel information to? Roverway at scouts.org.uk. If you can do that, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Do we have a set size for tent pitching? That's from Ryan. So what I would recommend is you just need to work out amongst your patrol who are sleeping in which tents. I would recommend the smaller the better, but equally you want to give yourself a bit of space if you're camping for a long period of time. You also want to consider which path you've taken. So if it's one where you're going to be moving around a lot and pitching undoing the tent and then pitching it again, you're going to want to kind of consider a lighter, smaller tent. The short answer to the question would be there isn't a set size, but obviously there's going to be thousands of people on site. You'll probably have more flexibility during your path, but just you need to bear it in mind. What I'm going to do is create a video of me packing my bag, and that'll come out just after the kit list. So I'll just kind of talk you through which rucksack I'm going to decide to take based on what I'm doing and which tent and things like that, and hopefully that'll kind of give you a bit more of an insight. So I hope that's helped, Ryan. Hannah, will we be using suitcases or rucksacks when we travel? I would really recommend a rucksack. You don't want a suitcase with wheels that you carry behind you. Again, kind of choose your luggage based on the path that you're going on. If you're on a stationary path, you might get away with like a duffel bag or a big hold all that at least can go on your back. if you're not carrying it around much. But if you're going on expeditions and carrying it around, you're going to want something with clips around your hips and things, and something here. So yeah, you want a bigger rucksack, expedition style pack, but yeah, not a suitcase. So I hope that's helped Hannah. Again, hopefully my video will later. Another one from Ryan. Which copy of the Tulip Times are we currently on? I can't remember what number we are on. Is it on there? Are we on 5 now? Do you know, Dan? Do you know what number?
The last one was 4. The next one will be 5.
Okay,
And
so yeah.
copies 1 to 4 are all on that link that is on the screen now.
There you go. Thank you. The advice about bringing pocket knives to Roverway, I would recommend bringing a scout knife, a Swiss Army knife. Not only is it good for cooking, whittling bits of sticks to toast your marshmallows on around the campfire, you will find that a lot of other scout contingents will be bringing kind of their Swiss Army knife, really, and they are really useful tools. So definitely that will be on the kit list. The advice around it is stick to the UK rules, obviously, stick to what our rules are equivalent to, if not stricter than that in the Netherlands. So yeah, just stick to what you've got, and don't buy anything out there that exceeds UK rules. But also, when you're traveling with it, don't put it in your hand luggage or your day sack that you might take on the plane with you. Put it in your hold luggage that goes in the plane and gets checked in. So yeah, hopefully that's helped Anna. So yeah, and if you do want clarity on the law, it's 3 inches, 3-inch blade, which is 7.62 centimeters. That is the UK law. Oh, we're getting lots of questions being added. Henry, who do we stay in the rooms at the hostel with? Yeah, so you will be with other patrol members. So essentially, we will try and keep you together with your patrol members where we can, but we have to do an age split. So we haven't got that list yet, but we are working it out. I know Wiley's looking into it. So we'll be, yeah, splitting, obviously, those over 18 and those under 18, just so we're abiding by scouting rules. So, and again, that was a similar story for me in my Roverway experience when I went to Finland back in 2012. I wasn't with all of my mates in my patrol just because it didn't quite work out in terms of our age groups. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure when we'll let you know that information, but hopefully it will be before you arrive. But if not, trust us, we've got it under control, and you will be given all different room allocations at the hostel. So I hope that has answered your question, Henry. Ryan again, are we camping at the main venue with the other patrol members from our area, or are we split into path groups? Yes, so when you get back to the main campsite, you will be in your tribe, which is you're in your UK patrol with lots of other international patrols. I think it's 4 or 5 more international patrols, so there'll be about 50 of you in total, and that will be your tribe, and your tribe will go to a sub-camp, and again you will camp with that group of people. So you won't be split up from either your patrol or the people that you spent your path with, which is it's quite nice. It works well because you will make some really good friendships out on your paths. You'll have got to know these people really well. So yeah, once you come back to the campsite, you'll be camping with them and you'll stay with them. There will be lots of opportunities to meet other patrols again, meet up with people that you met at the opening ceremony. Don't get me wrong, you're not kind of confined to that sub-camp, but yeah, just so you know, that's where you'll be stopping. Ellie has asked, what size rucksack are we likely to need? 70 litres plus, I reckon. Don't overpack. We've talked about the weight limit. the absolute limit is 23 kilos, but if you can get it under that, you really want to be trying to do that. You don't want to carry stuff that's too heavy. Don't carry too much. You'll see more information in the kit list in that video that I'm going to make. But yeah, about 70 plus litres up to kind of 90 tops. But yeah, fast and light is always my kind of motto when I'm scouting, trying to leave stuff behind where I can. But yeah, hopefully that's helped a bit, Ellie. Ryan again. Ryan is top notch with all these questions. You're definitely leading the pack here. Are we going to get a full schedule for our paths, or is it just being told day to day? You'll find out when you get there, or through communications before you arrive with your path leader. So you really need to push for your patrol leader if you're not one to make contact with your path leader. From my experience, again, when I was a participant back in 2012 in Finland, I didn't know until I arrived. We were given a brief overview from our path leaders once we did get there, and then it was kind of a bit of a day-to-day. Every morning, you would have a briefing. All the patrol leaders from all the different patrols would meet with the path leader, and there'd be a bit of a discussion about what was going to happen and what you needed to bring for that next day. So I hope that has answered your question somewhat, Ryan. Will the rooms be mixed sexes or single sexes in the hostel? They'll be single sexes, so you will just be, we talked about age, but yeah, should have mentioned that too. You will just be in rooms with single sex. Thanks for that, Lucy. How do we contact our path leaders? You'll be allocated a path at the end of June, at which point you'll be given an email address for them. Yes, this is a good point. We've talked about, I've mentioned quite a lot there about contacting your path leader to find out more about your path. Not all of you have been given your path yet. We have been told this will be by the end of June, week 1 of July, I think. So yeah, just so you're aware there. Other patrols that picked early have been given it, and they are in contact, many of them, with their path leader. But yeah, that is how you can make that contact. And the last question, how long is the flight to Amsterdam? Very good question. It's about an hour, maybe slightly over, and you'll get a snack, and we'll give you lunch when you arrive. Boom. I think that is all the questions. Dan or Wiley, do you want to add anything? Have you got anything more to say? Other than that, I think we're done.
Just quickly, sorry,
Yeah.
there's 2 more last-minute questions, but I'm not copying across fast enough.
Okay.
One from Lucy Enroll asking, what about non-binary members of the hostels? So on the original registration form, we asked people what gender they identified with, and anyone who didn't put down a single-sex gender, we've contacted individually just to check what their preference would be. If anyone feels like they may not have put the gender with which they identify on that first form, please let us know, and we can have a chat with you about it. And the other question, are we going to be told the menu in advance, and how is that working for both the path and main event? Which is another thing that came up on our head of contingent call last night. James, do you have a kind of answer on that?
Yeah, so you won't be given a menu before you get there. But what we have been really lobbying hard with the organisers is just absolute reassurance that no one's going to go hungry regardless of their dietary requirements. So whether you're a vegetarian, vegan, halal, whatever your diet is, if you have allergies, we're just getting absolute reassurance from the organisers that you will be catered for. The way you can help us do that is just making sure that that is on EventShare, that what you have put down there, which we have now sent to the organisers. So if you have got any updates that you think, oh no, that's not on there, I need to add that, you need to let us know by email too, please, just so we're absolutely sure. But yeah, excuse me, yeah, we don't know the exact menu. There were a few examples that were given to us, so that they're really keen for you to cook on fire during the camp. So they're talking about I can't remember what it's called now. They described it in terms of you'd wrap a meal in foil and cook it on the embers of the fire. Was one of them. It's kind of traditional backwards cooking, and you would shove all sorts of stuff inside, peppers and mince and. But yeah, there'll be people there to look after you whilst you are cooking. But yeah, menu again. From my experience of Roverway, we won't get that before we leave. You will get that kind of on a day-to-day basis as to what you'll be eating. But if you are worried about dietary requirements, we are too, and we're trying to do everything to make sure that people's are met, and we're pretty confident that the organiser is going to do that. And we've got a backup plan if there are any problems. So yeah, that should be fine. Was there anything else, Dan?
One last one.
Yeah.
Guess who from? Ryan again. Another good question, Bo. He's just asking a quick question. The profile picture that we gave you on events there, what is that used for? Mine's not the best at the moment. So the main reason we asked for those was as a CMT, that obviously we've said that we are going to do all we can to support everyone on event. And if we need to speak to someone about something, then it would be really helpful for us to know who we're looking for. So they're mainly for our reference, so that when we kind of go around, we can recognize people. If you're able to update it to one where you're recognizable, that would be appreciated. We'll also have the option, I guess, of finding your patrol leaders and that sort of thing if we need to. And the other place is that Ben has some fun ideas around possibly some kind of creative collage, I believe, which would have all of the pictures very small in it, so they wouldn't be massive or anything, but it would be a good way of having all the contingent in a picture. And Andrea Miller has asked, do we need to take our own cooking utensils? So I believe the answer to that is this is the main reason we are hoping to hear from the organisers on their kit list before we send ours out to everyone, just to make sure that we agree with them on this. And James might correct me if I'm wrong on this, but because it sounds like they'll be providing some main things like pots, I believe, but you may need to bring a few things like a wooden spoon or that sort of thing for your patrol. Was that your understanding, James?
That's yeah.
But yeah, we'll make sure to give you a full list of what is provided and what you need to bring.
And again, it might be different depending which path you're taking, but all of this, if there is kind of cooking equipment required, again, we're waiting for confirmation about that, but if so, it'll be stuff that you can share as a patrol. You don't all need to bring a wooden spoon or something. One person could bring the spoon, another a spatula, whatever. So yeah, kind of bear with us on that, but we should get an answer.
And I'm sure we'll cover this in the kit list stuff as well, but this is the main reason it's really important that you all do email your path leaders when you've been given your path choices, is so that you can speak to them about whether there's any particular kit you need to bring with you for their path. That is all the questions I can see.
Woohoo! Brilliant. Okay, thank you for joining the call, everyone. Thank you, Dan and Wiley, for leading bits and bobs on this call as well. The rest of the CMT are hard at work. Ben, Ollie, Mags, Emma, they're all doing little different things as well. I shouldn't say little, big, lots of stuff going on in the background to really help you guys and get his Roverway ready. So yeah, just looking forward to the next kind of webinar with you guys. That's 10 days before we leave. We've got more updates coming your way, as Dan says. But yeah, stay in touch and we'll see you soon. I think that's it. I'll wave goodbye. See you later.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.